So, welcome back, guys. I was telling you about using public transport. So, if you enter a train or a bus, please just don't sit next to anyone without asking, really, because it's not nice that you sit down and somebody just gets up and walks away because you sat next to them. It's not a nice feeling, really. It's really, I don't know how it feels, but it is what it is, guys. um at the same time, you'll see somebody enter a bus. They will look around and decide to stand because they didn't see a free space, because somebody is already sitting, and they don't want to ask if they can sit next to that person. So you'll just see them standing. You'll see, oh, but there are 10 or more seats free. But because they choose not to ask, they don't want to ask, then you'll just see them standing the whole way because they didn't want to ask somebody to if they can sit there. So it's really not a nice feeling. But as I said, if you ask, it's totally not a problem. Anyway, uh, and I think it's both sides. When I'm sitting down, if somebody comes in, they always ask before they sit next to me. So that's just that. They will just not come and sit down next to you without saying a word. They just don't do that. They're just polite, and they expect the same. So how can I say? You learn these things with time. It's not something you will just come and learn immediately, but with time, you'll be sitting in a train, you see somebody go to sit in a place, and you'll see them ask before they sit. Or you'll be sitting in a place and somebody comes in, you'll see them, they will ask you first before they sit next to you. So you also have to do the same. But people who don't know, they're like, oh, these people are this and this. No, they are not this and this. Not to you, not to me. It it is just how they are. They want their peace. They want their space. So, but it doesn't mean you are not welcome in this place or in the space. They just want you to ask them first. Then it's totally not a problem once you have asked. Have I been denied a space when I asked? There was a time I asked a student in a train. I went in there and there were not so many spaces. So I said, can I sit here? And he said, no, no, no. A friend of mine is already coming here. So that was a no. And just just behind me, a few paces behind me, there was the friend who came and sat there. So it was okay. It is what it is. There are enough seats, but you really have to ask. So, for example, at this time, if I didn't ask, he would have just gotten up and left. But still, these are four-seaters. So he could have still said yes, but he chose to say no. But otherwise, it's never a problem. The conductors in a public transport, train conductors and bus conductors. The buses here usually don't have conductors. Swiss trains have conductors, permanent, but the buses totally don't have conductors. I could go for maybe 6 months or longer, especially when I'm going to work and back. We call them controllers. It can take me months, maybe 6 months, or sometimes I don't know, it takes very, very long before you see the controllers. But when they come in, they usually don't wait in stations. They go, they will wait somewhere between stations and then just hop in. And once they get in, the driver will lock the door so that nobody goes out in case you did not have a ticket. This in between stations are very near, so these conductors are very fast. And remember, I told you the trains are not very full, so it will just take them a few minutes to control the whole bus, because you show them your ticket, they scan it and thank you, and they move to the next. So it's very, very quick. So the bus stations here are usually about 900 meters. But within this 900 meters, most of the time they have controlled the whole bus. So there's almost no chance of you jumping out before they control you. But in case the bus reaches a station and they have not controlled you, some of them will just, and you decide to go out, some of them will decide to go out with you to control your ticket. Really, there's just no way around it. They will control you. If you are in the bus, they will control you. That's that. They just will control you. Failing to have a ticket. Oh. If you don't have a valid ticket, your fine is, it starts at 100 francs. So anytime you are found without a valid ticket, when the controllers come in, you will be fined 100 francs. Does the driver know you don't have a ticket? No, they don't, because you just go in. Many people do have their monthly ticket, so the drivers never go around asking, do you have ticket or not? No, they don't, they never. You just go in. If your station reaches, you go out. If the control come, you have to show your ticket. So the driver never knows if you have a ticket or not. But as I said, when the control comes, you'll have to show them a valid ticket. The driver will just lock the door and you cannot go out until you have been controlled. So if you don't have a valid ticket, this has happened to me so many times, you can't imagine. And it's terrible. Forget about the money, the shame, the humiliation, really. They control 10 people. 10 people have tickets and they come to you and you don't have a ticket. God, it's so humiliating, really. You can't imagine. Because I have to say, 98% of people are honest when they take public transport and they will have their valid ticket. So you are in the bus, they controlled everyone showed their ticket, they come to you. You don't have a ticket. Then the controllers will be standing there to write you a ticket and the fine. So they'll just take longer standing there, and everybody else will be looking at you because everyone knows that you don't have a ticket at all. It's not a nice feeling, really, and it's 100 francs. So it means if you're found one time without ticket, that one-time fine is enough to buy you a full month ticket. Anyway, the first time is 100 francs. The second time fine, if you don't have a valid ticket, is 150 francs. And the third time, they will fine you, but this time they will fine you money, and also you'll have to go do social work. Yeah. So it's like they will send you to clean riverbanks, or or to collect garbage along the highway. Oh, it's really, it's not nice. It's not something I want, really, really, really. Or they will send you to go clean in the hospital compound or whatever for a full week, and it's a terrible. I don't want to have the feeling, really. But having said that, I've been found without a ticket several times. The last time I was coming from work, and I didn't even know my ticket had expired. And these are only 4 stations, really, really. And 4 stations cost just 2 francs. So these are 4 stations to my place. I already passed I already passed 2 stations. Then just I could see my apartment from where they came in. They jumped in, and I was anyway. I didn't even know that I don't have a valid ticket. Excuse me. Then I gave them my ticket, and they look at it and say, "This ticket expired yesterday." And I was, oh, I really don't believe this. I really don't believe this. And there was just really nothing I could do. Really, really nothing. The controllers are nice, they're professional, they're polite, but there's no, you can't beg them to just let it go. No, they will really write you a ticket. That's that. They will just not, they don't make exceptions. So then he just told me, your ticket expired yesterday. So usually it could have been, please, just an exception, or please, I forgot. Because he could see that I had a monthly ticket. He could see that it expired yesterday. So he could just be nice and make an exception, but he didn't. And I really didn't even bother to ask, because it is what it is. It was my business. It was for me to check that my ticket was valid, but that one was really, and because it was my second strike, they had already found me without a ticket. So instead of 100 franc, it was 150 franc, and I was so, I was really, really angry, really. So, as I said, if you are found the third time, then you'll have to do the social work. And I always hope that I never have to do that. Because they will just keep your name for a 2-year period. They will keep your name in the system for 2 years. And when the 2 years are over, then they will take your name out of the system. Then you start afresh again. So it's just buy a ticket. It's really, it's so expensive if you're found without a ticket, really. And there's just nothing you can do about it. Just just always try to have a valid ticket. The tickets are not, it's very clear. It's always clear where you can go with the ticket and where not. But there are sometimes I went to look for an apartment in Zurich, and I went with the bus. I bought a ticket. So it was a new area. I don't know the place, but still, I bought a bus ticket. So it was just so out of the way. The place was so far away. As I said, I really didn't know the place. So on my way there, on my way back, I saw that there was a railway station close by. So while coming back, um, I took the train, and as I said, uh, sometimes you can combine train and bus ticket. So I decided I bought a go and back ticket. So when I was coming back, I just decided to take the train. Then when the control came, he just said, "This ticket is not valid." And I was, oh. Then he just explained that um, when you are with the bus, it's valid because I don't even know how to say this. They do have boundaries. So for the bus, it was okay. It's because it drive on the other side of the boundary, and for the train is not okay because the train was driving on this side. So my ticket was not valid, and ah, I was just furious, really, really, because how can this be? I'm still in the same place I went to look for apartment, and with the bus it's valid, with the train it's not valid, and I didn't know this. So there was really nothing I could do. The driver wrote, no, the conductor wrote me my fine, but I called to complain and to explain my side because really I didn't know it was not valid, and it was just a few meters, really. It was just a few meters from the bus station to the train station. So this time I said, no, I didn't know this, and I'm sorry. It's a new place for me and all that. So they agreed to let me be so that I didn't have to pay the fine, but still they took 40 franc administration fees from me, which I just had to accept. Really, it was my fault. Let's say, um, but faults here, they don't usually tolerate them like that. You'll still have to pay. So I think the person I spoke to was just nice enough to let me be that one time, but most of the time they'll just not accept it. Really, they will fine you, and you will have to pay it because another time again, it was just recently. I was going from my home to the city. It's it's a 6 minute drive by train. It's not far, but within these 6 minutes there was control. I gave him my ticket, which I didn't even know it had expired. I'm just careless in some ways. So I gave him, and he said, "This expired yesterday." And I was, oh. So again, it was 100 francs. It was 100 francs. That was last year. And that's why this year, when they controlled me again, my fine was 150 francs because, as I said, they keep your name for 2 years before they take it out of the system. That's why they will know if you have been found without a ticket or not. So now I just have to be careful until another 2 years, really. So it's you just make sure you have a ticket. Really, really, it's so expensive not to have a ticket. It's really, really expensive. The train tickets are the same. Um, you can use your half price. So, as I said, the half price, you buy it once in a year, then every other public transport you use in Switzerland will be half the price. So with half price, I pay about, let's see, I pay 35 francs to Zurich. And I find it okay, really. The buses go from 6 in the morning to midnight. And the same is with the trains. It's 6 to midnight. If you decide to buy a day ticket for the buses, that's okay. With the trains, you buy from destination to destination, but they still do have a day ticket for the train, so you can buy a day ticket, then you just go everywhere around. I'm really not very sure how much it costs, so I'm not going to say, because I've not bought a train day ticket for a long time. But for the buses, a short distance, which are 4 stations, will cost you 2 francs with half price. And the long distance, which is 1 hour, will cost you 2 franc 80 if you have the half price. So it's just double the price, really. It's just double the price if you don't have a half price. As I said, the buses are usually not crowded, and if you're going to take a bus, you really have to be there on time. These drivers will just not let you in, and but I understand. When I'm waiting for the bus at let's say at 10 past, I really expect that bus to be there at 10 past, not 15 past. And they try to keep that time. So if they were to take a few seconds to let somebody who is late in and like that, then they will not be able to keep this time. So you have to be there on time. Otherwise, once they close the door, most of the drivers will not open to let you in. You have to wait for them. They don't have to wait for you. Yeah, let's call it that way. Also, guys, I really hope you found value in this video regarding traveling with the Swiss public transport. And as I said, they're convenient, they're affordable, there are enough buses every time. So I've never really bothered to have a driving license because I don't need it. I really don't need it. I have a bus every 15 minutes. So I've never really had a need for a car. And from my place to my work, when I take the bus, it's exactly 7 minutes. But if I count from the time I lock my door to the time I reach work, I have exactly 15 minutes, which means I lock the door, I walk to the bus station 5 minutes, then I usually wait for the bus 2 minutes. I just want to be there on time. I wait for the bus 2 minutes, the bus will be there. I drive exactly 7 minutes, then I will be opposite work, cross the road, let's call it 2 minutes. I cross the road, then I'm at work already in my working compound. Then go downstairs, change quick, go upstairs. So all in all, it take me 20 minutes from the minute I leave the house. So I really don't need a car. Really, it's totally convenient with the public transport, and that's what I've been using since I came here, because I've never really, how can I say, I've never had a factory job. If you work in a factory, you'll need a car, because most of the factories are a little bit on the edge of town, and factory jobs do start early in the morning or late in the night, or you'll finish work, I don't know at what time. So for a factory job, you really need a car. But since I don't work in a factory, I've never had the need for a private car. I've always used the public transport, and it works well for me. So guys, once again, thanks so much for stopping by. If you're new here, please subscribe. For the returning visitors, I value you so much. Thanks again. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment below and I'll get back to you. See you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.